outstanding program. It is one of the great shows, more than just merely another program. It is, in fact, we hope, a milestone in television history. It is a show of stark realism, a show of great dramatic impact, and we are quite sure that you will agree with us in just 29 minutes and 25 seconds. Thank you. Let's roll it now.
My name is Conrad Steiner. I'm a doctor of medicine. Tonight's story has the title, White is the Color.
Guardian of birth, healer of the sick, comforter of the aged. To the profession of medicine, to the men and women who labor in its cause, this story is dedicated. Medic to your life.
This story has a single point to make, the struggle for the preservation of life. It centers around the men and women who have dedicated their lives to that struggle. Their title, Doctor of Medicine. There's too much dignity and too much suffering in the fact of life to justify any romantic compromises with truth. There's excitement enough and triumph enough in truth. Tonight's case in point, Estelle Alberta Collins, 29 years old. She was married 7 years before the first baby began. That means a lot. In her 6th month of pregnancy, she began to develop symptoms I didn't like. And 2 weeks later, April 11th, the final answer was spread out on a glass slide under a microscope in the laboratory of Dr. George E. Fletcher, hematologist.
Not much doubt about it?
Not in my opinion. Want to try to get Dr. Steiner for me?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Steiner's office? Oh, yes, Dr. Fletcher. Yes, he's right here. Just a moment, please. Dr. Fletcher with a report from Mrs. Collins.
Thanks. Hello, George. How are you? Not too bad. A little busy. George, you work up the report on Miss Collins? Yeah. Huh? What's your impression? Yeah. I see. No, I guess I was just looking for a miracle. All right, George, thank you. We got a phone number for Miss Collins' husband. Place of business?
Well, I believe he works at home, if I'm not mistaken. A commercial artist or something. Excuse me, doctor, let me see.
The laboratory report was far from encouraging. It was the last thing in the world I wanted to do, but there was no choice. I called the patient's husband, a self-employed commercial artist, and made an appointment to meet with him that night in my office. Because of her condition, I asked him not to mention it to his wife.
Larry, what do you think?
Nice.
Covers it pretty well, doesn't it?
Yeah, but what do you wear when you're 8 months along? A puff tam?
Are you talking on the phone?
Yep.
Who was it?
Holloway. He wants to talk to me about some layouts at about 6.
He can use the business. Do you know what they want for baby buggies these days?
Money?
Too much.
Well, we always can give Junior away. Think of all the cash we'd save.
Not on your life, Buster. It's still kind of hard to believe, isn't it? Our own baby.
7 years. Long time making the grade.
We start slow. We finish strong.
How you feeling?
Pretty good. Still kind of tired. I don't feel like doing a thing.
Well, buck up, little mother. It'll all be over in 3 months.
That's when it starts. I don't think it'll be too much trouble to you.
And I'll tell you about that when you get up for those 2 a.m. feedings.
At 20 minutes past 6 that night, Collins knew the truth. I explained it was a rarity, 1 case in several 100,000. It wasn't much comfort. It's one of those few things a doctor never forgets. The look of a man who's just been told his wife's going to die. Thinking about it isn't going to help.
How do I tell her? What do I say?
It's going to come as a shock to her. I think she'll take it pretty well in stride.
Well, maybe if we took the baby, don't you think that...
Larry, I already told you.
Does she have to know? I mean, if we didn't tell her...
Just a question at a time until she starts asking questions. It's only fair she ought to be told.
I can't tell her. Would you tell her, Doctor?
All right. Want me to drive out with you now? Sooner we get it over with, better.
Oh, no. How about tomorrow sometime? You know, she'd be feeling better. You know, sometime in the morning.
All right. About 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, I guess I ought to go home.
All right, Heathcliff, come to Mother, tell her everything. What's the matter? Would you like that old nasty $3 steak we had for dinner?
Oh, it's nothing. I was just thinking.
Yeah?
Don't forget the latest news and sports in just 5 minutes.
How you feeling, Estelle?
I don't know. What have you got in mind?
I didn't see Holloway tonight. That was just an alibi. I went to see Dr. Steiner. That was him on the phone this afternoon.
What did he want?
It's going to be rough, Estelle. Rough as it comes.
You sound like you're gonna club me.
I am. Steiner wanted to make sure. He had a couple of the other doctors check it. They went over the whole thing.
Went over what? What do you mean? The baby. Oh, no, he said we'd lose the baby.
Well, Steiner said everything went well. The baby be a normal, healthy kid.
Well, then what is it? Tell me. Larry, don't be silly. Tell me, what is it?
It's you, Estelle.
Me?
That's why they took all those blood tests.
Why?
Well, there's something wrong with you. It's leukemia.
Leukemia?
Something to do with the white blood cells. It's no good. There's too many white blood cells. It's no good.
Well, what does it mean? What do I do?
It's acute leukemia.
Well, what happens? How do they treat it? Do I take shots or something?
I'm gonna give it to you straight, Estelle. It's fatal. They can't save you. You want the rest? It's fast. They can prolong it a while, that's all.
How long, Larry?
I don't know.
A year? 6 months? Less?
We'll see Dr. Steiner in the morning. He can tell you better than I can.
And the baby?
Good chance the baby will live. Pretty good chance.
Yes, you're right. Pretty rough. I never thought much about dying before. The pain in the neck. Larry. Larry. Hold me. Hold me.
This may help to give you some idea of what I'm talking about. You see, among other things, the bloodstream is composed mainly of blood cells, red blood cells and white blood cells. Now, whenever there's an excessive number of either one, it's a pretty sure sign of danger. And in your case, it's the white blood cells. You understand?
I think so.
Well, let me see if this will make it a little more clear.
You see, the red blood cells carry the supply of oxygen to the tissues in the various parts of the body. Now, when the red cells are crowded out by the great number of white cells, that supply of oxygen is gradually choked off. I'm oversimplifying, but in effect, that's what's happening.
I see. And there's no doubt in your mind?
I'd be lying if I said there was. The symptoms, the condition of the lymph nodes, spleen, your general tendency to hemorrhage, that could point to several things. But the laboratory reports narrowed it down.
You mean the blood test?
Blood test, chest picture we took, and especially the examination of the marrow specimen. Miss Collins, I've had the opinion of experts, and it all points to one thing.
I see.
You might keep this in mind. The doctor's only a human being. He can make a mistake just like anybody else. He's not the Almighty.
And my baby? You're sure it won't affect him?
If for some reason we don't understand, the leukemia stops at the placenta.
He'll have a good chance?
If he's 8 months along when he's born, I'd say he'd have a good chance.
You think I'll last that long? Honestly?
Well, it might even be longer, we can't say. One thing I can tell you, we're going to help you all we can.
How?
But you've got to understand this. It's not a cure. It's what we call a palliative treatment. See, in your case, the use of X-ray therapy is out of the question. It might harm the baby.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want that. The baby comes first.
Well, there are some drugs that have been developed. They won't harm the baby, and they could help.
And they might give me a little more time.
The more effective the drug, the longer the time you'll have.
And the longer I live, the better chance the baby has.
That's right.
I guess it's silly. Do you think I might do it? Live long enough to see the baby born?
You might. It's possible.
It'd be kind of nice to see him, wouldn't it? See what he looks like. The color of his hair. To see him just once. Just once. Doctor, do you think I'm asking for a miracle?
Well, you go ahead and ask. I've seen them happen. April 20th, 7:30 p.m. The patient, Estelle Collins, accompanied by her husband, arrived at St. Charles Hospital. She was in her 26th week of pregnancy. Her fight for life had begun. Not a fight for her own life. That much was hopeless. She realized it. She accepted it. The fight was for the life of her unborn child. If it was to have a good chance of survival, she had to fight death for at least 6 weeks. Estelle Collins was registered and lodged in a room on the 3rd floor, West Wing, room 307. One of the critical moves in the struggle for the life of the unborn Collins baby was made the following morning, April 21st, 10 a.m. Those directly associated in the case: George A. Fletcher, M.D., hematologist; Averill B. Morrison, M.D., hematologist originally consulted; Arnold James Wesley, M.D., St. Charles Hospital resident physician; and myself. Initial therapy includes prescribing for the patient a daily dosage orally of 0.5 milligrams of a folic acid antagonist, amethopterin. It's a drug designed to reduce the excess number of white cells in the blood, to destroy them at their source. In some previous cases, it's proved toxic. How the patient might react, we have no idea. Also, we have no choice. Whole blood will be transfused as needed. April 30th, 2:30 p.m. The dosage of 0.5 milligrams of amethopterin has shown some effect. White count 60,000. It's possible the drug is retarding the progress of the disease. In any event, the baby is 9 days closer to life.
Look, now there's going to be no argument to the name, no matter what your mother says.
Okay.
Lawrence Randolph Collins, Jr. Promise?
Yeah. That is, unless it's a little girl.
Then you can name it after your mother.
How they been treating you? Food pretty good?
It's all right. The nurses or something. Too bad you can't be around to hear it.
What do you mean?
Every night. Regular. 11 o'clock. They started playing shuffleboard with the bedpans.
May 12th, the patient's white count, 80,000. She sustained 2 minor internal hemorrhages to date. May 18th, the patient is approaching her 30th week of pregnancy. White count, over 90,000. No sign of remission. Patient steadily declining. A complete setup for possible emergency surgery is placed in the patient's room. May 26th, the patient has sustained additional internal hemorrhages. The dosage of amitriptyline has become toxic. Patient's mouth is inflamed. White count, 100,000. Chances for the baby's survival, we can't be sure. Dr. Steiner. Yo, Wesley. Another hemorrhage, when'd you start? You move her up to surgery? Yes, move her up there now. Wesley, you call Mr. Collins? Call him. All right, Wesley, I'll be right in. Yeah. I arrived at St. Charles Hospital a few minutes past 3 a.m. Preparations for surgery were just about completed. I changed my clothes and went immediately to the scrub room. The hospital resident, Dr. Wesley, was standing by to assist. How's it look, Wes?
Pretty sour.
Still hemorrhaging?
Yeah, seems to be.
How is she?
Poor. Pressure's way down.
Respiration?
30. Very shallow. Pulse, weak and thready. About 140. I'm assisting her now.
How much blood she had?
She's on her 3rd pint now. Just a minute. Can't get a pulse.
Check the heartbeat.
She's gone.
Fetal heart's still there. We lost one, now let's save one.
Nurse?
Ready, Doctor?
Knife.
It's a girl. Tissue scissors.
All right. We got a sleepy baby. Let's get over the table.
Color's fair.
Let's see if it'll breathe.
No response.
Warm blanket.
All right, stethoscope. Our heart tones are good. Strong, but they're rapid. At least 170.
Sterile gauze, Doctor?
Now clean out the mouth. No breathing?
No, Doctor.
Trachea catheter. Mouth. Throat.
Trachea clear.
Almost once more. Warm blankets. Chlorine.
Chlorine, 3 minutes.
How long's the baby been out?
2 minutes, Doctor.
Come on, let's have that chlorine. All right. It's getting weaker. Might go 5 or 6 minutes without breathing.
Never knew it wanted to go any longer.
Heartbeat's getting irregular. Caffeine, sodium benzoate. 3 minutes.
Right.
Give me the ether. Come on, let me have it.
Caffeine, sodium benzoate.
Wait a minute. All right, put it in the cord. Ready with the positive pressure?
I'll get it in a minute, Doctor.
Where's that catheter? Breathe foreign.
Positive pressure machine's ready, Doctor.
All right, man. Turn it on, 30 cycles.
30 seconds. Five minutes. Can't go much longer. No response?
Nothing?
No oxygen. No nourishment. Turn that off. How long's it been now?
6 minutes. Any response at all?
Contrast baths. Come on, move!
Here's the hot water, Doctor.
Come on.
Here's the cold, Doctor.
Hot. Cold. Hot. Cold. Hot. Cold. Hot.
Thanks, Wes.
Well, I better get a move on. I'm in surgery this morning.
Thanks again, Wes.
Dr. Steiner?
Yeah.
The husband's outside. Mr. Collins?
Tell him I'll be out and talk to him in a minute.
Do you want me to tell him his wife died?
No. Tell him his baby lived.
Card and a white feather.
You see what I mean. I said Medic represents tense drama and realism. Now, these qualities of tenseness and realism were built into this series by two masters of television technique. Worthington Minor, the man who built Studio One and many other attractions. Jim Moser, the writer who helped make Dragnet the highest-rated program on television. But perhaps even more important than our professional opinion of Medic's production styles and techniques is the opinion of the home viewer. As you've seen for yourselves, Medic's subject matter itself has startling dramatic honesty and medical integrity, the things that make for conversation, the did-you-see-it-last-night kind of talk that spreads and intensifies and builds. After all, conversation piece shows, we must remember, are the ones that move people in large numbers to stations and to products. Now, the question has been asked, why did NBC schedule Medic at 9 to 9:30 p.m. New York time? And the answer is simple, if you'll follow me. We'll look at this chart here. This is a chart of NBC's Monday night, one of the truly great nights on NBC television, a place for hits. Now, to lead off the new week for NBC, Monday has been completely reprogrammed. It's going to be a night of really high-rated presentations that will hold audiences from beginning to end. Monday evening on NBC starts off with the News Caravan at 7:45 Eastern Time, the highest-rated news program on the air. During the next hour, the new Sid Caesar show from 8 to 9. Mr. Caesar will bring the vast top 10 audience of your show of shows with him on Monday, and following Sid Caesar, Medic itself at 9 o'clock. Then that, as you have seen, is a great and fitting lead-in to a distinguished, high-rated, dramatic show, Robert Montgomery Presents, at 9:30. And then once a month, the Caesar and Medic shows will make way for the hour-and-a-half Leland Hayward Color Spectaculars in full color in this time period here. These shows will feature some of the greatest names in all show business, box office stars who are going to draw great audiences. In fact, we've calculated that during the average month, on a cumulative basis, we will reach 95% of all the television sets in America who will have looked at some part of NBC's Monday night. And certainly Medic, right in the middle of this tremendous programming, will win its share of the great audiences against any and all competitors. And in addition, we feel very strongly that Medic, in turn, as a distinguished attraction, will be a great asset to the other members of the Monday night team. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we scheduled Medic where we did. And now it gives me great pleasure to present to you the executive producer of Medic, Mr. Worthington Minor. Tony?
Thanks, Pat. I'd just like to clear up one implication and correct it. I am not the sole producer of Medic. I'm just one half of a production team. I'm fortunate enough to have a partner who's had a great deal more to do with the creation and the development of this series than I have. Medic was born in his mind. He wrote the pilot that you have just seen. He's also writing most of the scripts that will appear on our schedule. In all honesty, Medic would never have existed if it hadn't been for Jim Mosier. I've been in the business a little over 15 years, and I must say that in all that time, no writer that I've met has the sensitivity, nor the emotion, nor the power that he has. I'm very proud indeed to be a partner of Jim Mosier's in this venture, and I hope it's just a start. In a moment, you'll meet him in person. And now we take you to Hollywood, California, and Medic.
My name is Conrad Steiner. I'm a doctor of medicine. In the months to follow, I hope to have the pleasure of repeating those words time and again. Actually, my name is Richard Boone. I'm an actor. I've appeared on the stage, motion pictures, TV, radio. But I've never had the opportunity before of playing a stark, honest, realistic portrait of a medical doctor before the American public. It's a great honor. It's a great responsibility. After viewing the first film, which you've just seen, the most common questions seem to be, where do you go from here? What do you do next? I'd like to answer some of those questions by showing a few film clips from some of the films to follow. Here's the first one. The picture has the title, Laughter is a Boy. Case in point, a young boy, John Coslow. He's 8 years old, but he's already made up his mind that he's lived too long. What hope for the future he might have rests in the hands of 6 people. One of them is his older brother, Pete. Here we see 8-year-old John trapped in a terrifying situation which happens to him almost daily. Subjected, because of deformity, to a constant stream of ridicule.
They think it's funny to have a cleft palate. Makes a fine imitation for some TV comics. Movies, too. Big laugh. They think they're funny, but they're not. They're sad. Very sad.
Would you care to tell the class where that was, John? Would you care to tell us, John? All right, John. You may sit down. That's enough. I'm sorry, John. I must apologize for my class.
This is the story of how one 8-year-old boy, with the help of his brother and the skill and knowledge of the medical profession, undertook to destroy the wall which closed him off from the rest of the world. A wall built of deformity, shame, and the ridicule of the ignorant. A wall which, if allowed to stand, could imprison 8-year-old John Coslow for as long as he lived. Another sampling from another story. This one has the title, Day 10. Case in point, a 34-year-old physician who holds in his hands the lives of 3 million people. Not one of them is aware of it, but at the moment of discovery, death stands waiting at their doorsteps. Death that takes the form of bacteria, one of the deadliest forms of microbe ever known in the history of mankind.
Yes? Mayor's office, yes. Put him on, will you, please? Mr. Mayor, this is Dr. Strauss of City Public Health. I would like to see you within the hour. I realize that, sir, but this is important. It's very important. No, sir, I can't wait. Not even half a day. That's exactly what it means. Life or death. You've heard of it before. They used to call it the Black Death. The Black Death? That's one name for it, Mr. Mayor. Bubonic plague, pneumonic plague. Call it anything you like. It's wiped out millions of people before us, and if we're not careful, it'll wipe out millions more. It has a number of days we've had plague in the city. As long as one area is still under quarantine, there's a good chance it might crop up again.
So how long does the quarantine last?
And the incubation period is from 2 to 10 days. The last known cases were diagnosed at noontime. And if no more cases come up in the next 10 days, then we lift the quarantine and all go home.
And if there are more cases?
Then we go back to day one and start counting all over again. Each new case takes us back to day one. And when that thing reads day 10, then we lift the last quarantine. It's all over.
That's not so bad. 10 days goes fast.
So does the plague.
Next, a glance at the world of medicine from another angle. This picture has the title, I Climb the Stairs. The case in point, a 19-year-old girl, Annie Schrader. She's unmarried, she works hard, she's devoted to music, and she has no idea how very close she stands to death. I'm afraid the balcony's going to have to get along without you. No more stair climbing, at least for a while.
Well, what's the matter?
It's your heart, Annie.
Well, what's wrong with it?
How are you feeling, Miss Schrader?
Oh, pretty good.
What's the matter, Annie?
I was just wondering, this next examination, can I keep my clothes on?
Is the patient ready?
She's ready, Doctor.
Nice.
Hi, Bert.
Hi.
Am I very late?
You're not late.
And now one more facet of the world of medicine, which the Medic series will draw on, the historical. This picture has to do with the winning of the West and one of the greatest threats to face our Western pioneers. The story has the title, Death Rides a Wagon. The month is May, the year 1867. A wagon train of pioneers moves deep into the country of the River Platte, along the same trails and byways where the dread cholera has claimed the lives of 5,000 people in a single year.
You got no right searching our wagon, Perry. You got no right at all. Just like I told you, there's nothing much wrong with him, just a little fever, that's all.
Don't fool with me, mister. You know the looks of it as well as I do. It's cholera.
Cholera?
You're wrong. It couldn't be.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I got no choice. We're cutting you off.
No, please.
Ride up front and get those wagons moving. Make it fast.
But you just can't do it. My wife, my young ones, it's no better than murder.
This is the story of one wagon train, one family, and one doctor, and their journey over the scourge-ridden plains of 19th century America.
You got something in mind, Tom?
It's for our own good, Bess. We can't take a chance. We gotta leave them behind. We got to.
You can't mean that.
I do. I do mean it. We gotta leave them right here, right now. I'm scared, Bess. I'm scared for you and for the kids.
No, Tom. You're scared for yourself. That's your trouble.
In the years and century to follow, because of the labor and imagination of countless unknown men dedicated to the fight against death and disease, the word cholera will become an almost obsolete term in the world of American medicine.
Mrs. McQuaid, I came out from the trading post. My name's Carthage. I'm a doctor. They said you were taken with cholera, your daughter and your husband.
My daughter's asleep. My husband over there.
Now I'd like you to meet the man who created, has lived, and is writing Medic, James Moser.
Living with doctors, living in hospitals, living with all of medicine these past 3.5 years, I found that an individual is excused for nervousness only when he's an expectant parent. Professionally, I now place myself in that category. Medic is my offspring. But there are other parents of Medic, and I want you to meet them. It would have been a most difficult birth without medical assistance from the very inception. Assistance, inspiration, and belief, Dr. Bill House gave me all of these and more. Like all writers, I had turned to medicine from time to time for the drama it held. When Bill and I became friends, he was in his 3rd year at medical school. I saw it from another light. It was dedication, it was faith. It was a study of medicine and of people, the well and the sick. Bill suggested I write about the medicine he was beginning to know. He let me live his life with him, sharing each experience during his internship and his residency. Many times over during these past 3.5 years, I've stood in surgery and in hospital rooms, and I've seen humans born, and I've seen them die. It's a very moving and a very profound experience, believe me. A man about to be a doctor has little time for family, friends, himself. But Bill found time for me and for Medic. Like a good doctor should, Bill is staying with Medic for a while so that the infant gets a good medical start in life. Our director, Barney Gerard, also shared in the labor pains that brought Medic to television. Before Medic, I saw much of his work. I was lucky enough to recognize his sensitive talent as a director, and I also noticed a warmth in his pictures that I wanted to capture. I think you've seen how that same warmth, that same feeling, now permeates Medic on the screen. Barney has spent the past year preparing for this program mostly in research, together with myself and Dr. House. For our musical director, we sought and found one of the truly great names in the realm of modern American music. His name is Victor Young. Here's a glimpse of him at work as he brings to Medic the same great talent he displayed in creating such musical scores as For Whom the Bell Tolls, Shane, The Quiet Man, My Foolish Heart, 3 Coins in a Fountain. The list is endless. So here, the expectant and nervous parents, along with my partner, Tony Miner in New York, our executive producer and discoverer, our producer, Frank Latourette, and our production manager, Lonnie Dorsey, all of them the very best. And now, to make the picture complete, the physician who, along with his worthy colleagues, delivered all of us by voting us the full cooperation and approval of the Los Angeles County Medical Association, Dr. Philip Sampson, President of the Association.
Thank you, Jim. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Or should I say, good afternoon. Today I am spokesman for the Los Angeles County Medical Association. And I'm here to tell you why our association is interested in the program called Medic. About 2 years ago, Jim Mosier came to us with this tremendous idea. Case histories of medicine, presented with documentary truth, filmed under the technical supervision of a medical doctor appointed by us, demonstrating medicine's daily and historic contribution to living and pointing to a better public understanding of the practice of the art of medicine. To us, this was an entirely new and exciting concept in television. It opened a new approach in medical public relations, and because it is such a tradition-breaking forward step, we wish to move slowly. During these 2 years, Jim has studied our problem, and we, through our television committee, have worked with him. He has written and rewritten scripts, and after hours and hours of study, we finally concluded that there is much about true medicine that we wanted to share with everybody. We wanted to give you authentic descriptions of the treatment of a patient or of a family or of a community by a doctor. We wanted to give you the true picture of how a doctor works, how he thinks, how he feels, and finally we wanted to show you how medical science is developing. You will see that the problems are real. The doctor still deals with human hearts, minds, and body, and changing only in that he uses new tools. But the warmth and the faith that exists between a doctor and a patient remains the same. Each script will have the approval of the association. A doctor of our choosing will be present on every set. Interns, residents, and nurses will appear in many of the films. It took a great deal of courage on the part of Jim to dedicate so much of his time and talent to this idea. It took a great deal of courage, too, for a network and a sponsor to present it. To Dow Chemical Company and to NBC, our thanks and compliments for your service to medicine and the public. We hope all of you will invite Medic into your home.
Thank you, Dr. Sampson. And now back to New York and Pat Weaver.
Thank you all, fellows. Now, a portion of our show today is going to be coming from Studio 8H here in the RCA building in New York, and I'm due there in just a few minutes. So before I leave, may I, in the vernacular of the closed-circuit speeches, leave you in very good hands. The hands I refer to, of course, are those of my good friend and associate, our Executive Vice President, Bob Sarno. Bob?
Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Weaver has given you a good indication of the importance of Medic in our Monday evening program structure. Now I want to follow up with a few words on what we're planning promotion-wise to make Monday night, like every other night, an NBC television night in the vast majority of American homes. Medic, of course, is a keystone of our new lineup, and we are planning a major allocation of network airtime to call the public's attention to it. In the first 2 weeks, Medic will receive $170,000 worth of network on-the-air promotion. This is a schedule indicating the air spots that will be used. In its first 13 weeks, that is. And Saran Wrap commercials supporting it will be promoted to the extent of $500,000 over the 13-week period. Now, this is for just one program, and when you add to it the substantial promotion budgets for other Monday night shows, such as Sid Caesar, The Color Spectaculars, Robert Montgomery Presents, you come up with one of the largest investments that NBC or any other network has ever made to promote an evening television lineup. I mention this because it demonstrates, I think, our faith in the new lineup and our conviction that it will bring us undisputed Monday evening program supremacy. I know that all our affiliates share this faith and will demonstrate it through local promotions of equal intensity. In addition to this on-the-air promotion, we are mobilizing our publicity force in an all-out effort to inform the American people in advance of the type of adult entertainment that Medic promises them. Our publicity plans for Medic were initiated months ago at conferences here and in Hollywood where the program is being produced. We set up private showings for representatives of every major magazine, many of which are planning sizable layouts on the program. Life magazine, for example, has already shot a picture story on the set of Medic. We began preparation of a press kit for distribution to television editors around the country. This press kit will tell the entire story of Medic, the story of many months of painstaking preparation, research, and planning before production started. The background of the main personalities involved in the production, the story of the cooperation of the Los Angeles County Medical Association. It will be one of the most comprehensive press kits ever put out by NBC. The publicity department has also held scores of private screenings across the country to gauge audience reaction. The results have been better than good. They've been astonishing in Chicago. For example, the officials of the American Medical Association were so enthusiastic that an official AMA endorsement was drawn up and permission granted to NBC to use it in publicity and promotion. I'd like to read a part of it to you now. I hope that through this new television program, millions of Americans will gain a better understanding of the role of modern medicine in their daily lives. Medic is dramatic, informative, and authentic, unquote. Medic has been screened for clergymen, editors, club women, nurses, and doctors, and just plain housewives. Without exception, they have bolstered our conviction that Medic will be news of household importance throughout the nation. It will make news the first week it goes on the air. We think it will continue to make news every Monday night throughout the year. And we at NBC will be using every facility to keep that flow of news moving at flood tide. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a brief report on our plans for Medic's promotion and publicity, one of the most ambitious ever attempted for an NBC program. And now I believe it is time for us to go down to Studio 8H and rejoin Pat Weaver.
NBC is extremely aware and very proud of the faith that Dr. Doan, the Dow Chemical Company, and its advertising agency, McManus, John & Adams, are placing in NBC television these days. We are proud of their aggressive use of our advertising throughout the broadcasting week. Now, although the commercial force of Medic must have appealed to Dr. Doan, I am certain that the final attraction was its power for good, for public service. Yes, NBC is proud of its relationship with the Dow Chemical Company and Dr. Leland I. Doan, and I am proud to introduce him to you now. Dr. Doan. Thank you.
Once again, the Dow Chemical Company is doing something new. I say again, quite consciously and deliberately, because we've been doing new things for more than half a century. For these many years, we've been manufacturing an increasing number of basic industrial chemical products. The public seldom sees the materials as such, and in like degree seldom hears of us. But over the years, our research and our products have brought us gradually closer to the consuming public. In magnesium, and again in plastics, for example, we found it necessary to help educate consumers in the usefulness and advantages of these materials, even though we ourselves did not sell or manufacture them under our own trademark. Now, however, we have reached the final step in this buyer-seller relationship, that of marketing a product directly to the consumer, and with it the necessity of reaching out directly to millions of American people. To say this is one thing. To do it is quite another. And it is still another to do it in a way that can also bring the pride and satisfaction of having perhaps contributed something beyond the call of duty or necessity. In Medic, I believe we have found a vehicle of such caliber that it will not only serve our necessity, but will additionally satisfy our sense of social responsibility. It is for that reason that we are both proud and happy to sponsor Medic. In speaking of the endorsement of Medic by the Los Angeles County Medical Association, Dr. Sampson has pointed out that his profession does not arrive at decisions hastily, that they have endorsed the program after 2 years of study and consideration because they regard it a tradition-breaking forward step in medical public relations. Our company does not arrive at decisions hastily either, and this is likewise a tradition-breaking forward step for us. Our product, in this case, Saran Wrap, was in development for several years before we saw fit to place it on the market. And we studied the available television programs most carefully before selecting Medic as the vehicle we could sponsor with greatest pride and confidence. We have great confidence in our product because of its unique and superior qualities. We have equal confidence in Medic for the same reasons. We believe its future in television will be as exciting as the dramatic stories it portrays.
Lee, I think all of you looking in can see how and why we're so pleased that Lee Doan and the Dow Chemical Company chose to sponsor Medic. Well, I'd like to thank each and every one of you all over the country on behalf of everyone here in New York and in Hollywood for breaking into your busy schedules and for spending this hour with us. If we've seemed very enthusiastic, it's only because we know you'll be sharing our enthusiasm throughout the coming season. And so now, goodbye and good luck from NBC in New York.